Steven, es ist mir so eine große Ehre, heute mit dir hier sprechen zu können. Und zwar sprechen wir über Talks with Relations, die Clanmutter des ersten Mondes, des Januarmondes, des ersten Mondes des Jahres. Und vielleicht möchte ich dich gerne erstmal vorstellen. Du bist Seminarleiter, du bist Master der chinesischen Medizin, du bist so viel, aber ich sage ein paar Sachen. Du bist Musiker, Medizinmann im besten Sinne und du beschäftigst dich sehr, sehr tief mit Sound Healing. Du hast ein Buch geschrieben über das Sacred Drumming, über das heilige Trommeln, und du hast mit deiner Frau und Partnerin Renata zusammen die School of Sacred Drumming gegründet, ins Leben gebracht sozusagen. Und du hast ein so tiefes Wissen und eine tiefe Verbindung zu dem indigenen Wissen der First Nation von Nordamerika. Einer deiner Lehrer war Ed McGar-Eagleman und er war ein sehr, sehr enger Freund von Janie Sams. Ja, und dann bist du auch als Enkel adoptiert worden von Wallace Black Elk, dem großen Medizinmann der Lakota. Ich durfte dich kennenlernen vor mehr als 20 Jahren und ich kann auf jeden Fall sagen, dass du seitdem der wichtigste Lehrer für mich bist und warst und mich wunderbar auf meinem Pfad begleitet hast. Ich könnte mir also keinen besseren Gesprächspartner vorstellen, um heute über die erste Clanmutter Talks with Relations zu sprechen. Ja, Talks with Relations ist die Clanmutter, die von allen lernt. Sie schickt ihre Fühler aus zu allen sie umgebenden Wesen, zu den Pflanzen, zu den Tieren, zu den Menschen, auch zu den Sternenvölkern. Sie spricht mit den Steinwesen, Stone People. Sie spricht mit dem Felsenvolk, mit dem Rock Tribe. Und sie hört dem Wasser zu, sie hört das Rauschen der Blätter im Wind. Sie hört auf alles und sie lernt von allem. Und ja, alles gehört dazu und wir sind verbunden mit allem Leben. Steven, ich habe dich so oft gesehen, wie du durch die Natur gehst und wie du in so tiefer Verbindung, in a deep connection with everything bist. Und wie erlebst du all your relation? What is all your relation for you?
What is all of my relations for me? It's everything that is outside me that I live with. Like you're sitting here and the room is here, and as I live my life, I'm not in isolation. I have two legs, well you have two legs, and I have two hands, and I have the same structure as every other human being, and I have the same structure and physically in a cellular as all living creatures. Now, the joy is to feel connected, the joy is to feel in relationship. And what is important for me is to tune myself like an instrument to other parts of my world so that I can have a relationship with my world. If I'm limited, then I get to a certain point and there's a barrier. So I've got to find my way through that barrier. Let's say like with the larch trees outside in the garden, it's not in the garden, it's in the field beyond this garden. I walked there yesterday, I walked to the larch trees, and I know those larch trees because I've been here before. And as I touched the larch tree, there was a knobble on the larch tree, and I just touched it and it came off in my hand. And it was like this feeling of the tree is gifting me because I'm gifting the tree. But what is it in me that gifts the tree? It's my making a relationship with the tree. It's my connection to the tree that I can feel through my left eye as I'm talking with you. Because everything in our world has a gift. And if I walk towards everything in my world as if it's gifting to me, then something magical can happen, very natural magical can happen. And this is what Mother of Relations is. This is the Clanmutter of talking with relations. But we have to find our way in as human beings. Because we're not taught in school. Our mothers don't necessarily teach us. Our fathers don't teach us.
So, was denkst du? Talks with Relations ist the first Clanmother.
Yeah.
Sie ist die erste Clanmutter in unserer Jahresdurchgehung, und perhaps that's the reason why she...
Exactly. So she is there in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get that sensitivity of well, how do I make relations with... I mean, in the story, in the book, it's a really beautiful story. I mean, the writing is so clear, it's so beautiful. And I read it before a few times because I like Jamie Sam's teachings. And I read it again, and I then went off outside, and I found myself very easily making contact with the other parts of my world, with my environment. We call it the environment. That's the modern term, is, this is my environment. But the trouble with the word saying environment is it's a separation. This is my, and that's environment. The Mother of Relations, this relationship is not like that. You see, I have a beating heart, and the tree has a beating heart. It breathes, and I breathe. So I have to go to the tree with my breath, because that's the universal language, is the breath. Or the universal language is the heartbeat. Actually, what the universal language is rhythm. It's rhythm. So when we connect with our rhythm, and we dance through life, and we get into our bodies, like the way you're moving here, you're into your rhythm. I'm into my rhythm. This is my rhythm. A tree has a rhythm. It gurgles, it pops, it shivers. This is the moon, this is the popping tree moon. The trees pop and in this moon in the cold weather. You know, everything has rhythm. That's where the drum is important. It's catching the rhythm. It's catching the relationship.
Let us talk about the drum at the end, because
that's fine.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Erst ist es vielleicht wichtig, first it would be important to tell people who try to be in connections with everything.
Yeah.
Leute, die ihre Wahrnehmung verfeinern wollen und die in Kontakt treten wollen mit ihrer Umgebung. How can people learn it to go better in contact? And the second thing is, das zweite ist, dass wir manchmal uns schützen wollen. Sometimes we want to be safe. We don't want contact because we are afraid.
Yeah, but there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, of course, but nicht alles, was uns umgibt, ist gut. Nicht alles dient uns nicht.
I think that's what, as the people who are attracted to learning about the Clanmothers, this is the great start, because the person you have to start with. You can't do anything on the outside until you've done it on the inside. So the person that's got to sort themselves out is the inside. Well, the whole project of the Clanmothers is to sort out the inside, but it doesn't happen straight away, does it?
Yeah.
It's a process. So you have to be patient with yourself. But there are some keys, there's some codes, like to breathe and to relax. Because the fear that we carry is a projection of ourselves. It's a projection of nothing, actually, because it's not real. The fear isn't a substance. It's like darkness. Darkness isn't a substance, because when you turn the light on, the room is filled with light. So the light is the reality, the darkness is the absence. Love is the reality, and fear is the absence. It's just an absence. So what you have to do is, the mother of relations is saying, let go of your fear. In the moment, now, let go of it. Just let go of it. And whatever comes, comes. Because you don't know what's going to come. So you might as well live in the light. You might as well live in the breath. You might as well let go. You might as well surrender. You might as well release the tension out of yourself and relax as you go forward. And Mother, if you look at the story of Mother, the story in that book, it's so beautiful, because she goes from one teacher to another teacher. And she is the student throughout this set of relationships. She's learning from these other beings, from the swan and from the different creatures that she meets on her journey. And that's what our lives are about. But we can't learn any of this unless we are receptive. And you're not receptive if you're in fear. Because when you're in fear, you have your shields up, you're frightened of what's coming next. So this, in a way, that's where this chapter is so important. Because you have to feel safe in yourself as a student. Because you're not the teacher until you're a good student.
So the body is very important to do it. Welche Rolle spielt für dich unser Körper, wenn es darum geht zu fühlen und mit allem in Verbindung zu gehen? What do you think?
About the body being the
body as an instrument to go
absolutely.
in contact.
Absolutely, it's my car. My soul is in my car. I've got to look after my car. I've got to make sure that it has good porridge in it and good fruits. And I don't get it overexcited and I don't exhaust it. I've got to look after this vehicle called this beautiful body. I think this is where the science is beautiful, Andrea. Because the more you know about the beauty of your own body and how to care for your body, then it will carry your soul well to do what it needs to do. I mean, look, I'm sitting here, I'm looking out of my eyes, I'm feeling through my hands. That's my consciousness. Whether it's soul, whether it's body, it's something in between, but it's the magic. And I can't do the magic unless I'm clear. Yeah?
And it's like an instrument. It's an instrument to talk.
Yeah.
Wie die Trommel. Und die Trommel steht für dich im Zentrum deines Lebens und deiner Lehre. Und vielleicht kannst du ein bisschen über die Trommel uns noch erzählen und die Trommel als Instrument in Bezug auf Talks with Relations.
Yeah, well, as we said, everything everything in the world around us has rhythm. And rhythm starts with finding where the emptiness is and where the fullness is, and it's called rhythm. It's like a sine wave in life. It's this rhythm. And it starts off by feeling your internal rhythm and using drum to feel your internal rhythm. So I've got a little tiny drum here. It's a little stone with a hole in it. But you know what's beautiful is I can tap it. And it makes like a little sound like a drum, and I can put it in my pocket. Yeah? Very useful. So when I'm sitting and I go, oh, I want to be in touch with my own rhythm, well, I start with my breath. And as I breathe out, I give a little tap. As I breathe in, I do 2 taps, or 3, depending. As I breathe out. So what I'm doing, I'm putting into my physical world my internal rhythms. And then I'm leaving space between the taps. I'm leaving space so that communication can happen. Yeah? So let's say you meet a squirrel, because you meet a little red squirrel. These are very fast creatures. They've got fluffy tails, they've got ears that stick up, they love nuts. That's what we know about squirrel, yeah? Well, if you go to squirrel energy, because you can see squirrel, squirrel can see you. If you go to squirrel with your rhythm, and you're used to breathing, you're used to consciously breathing, squirrel notices that, because squirrel can see fear and squirrel can see relaxation. Squirrel's not stupid. Squirrel has to be very aware of what's happening in its world, because hawks are around, there are cats around, there are dogs around, there are things that want to eat it. Okay? So it is very astute, very awake, very aware. When you go to squirrel and you are tense and tight and fearful, squirrel goes, well, I'm not going to have much to do with you. But if you go to squirrel and the first thing you do is you go, and then you go, squirrel notices your naturalness. These teachings, these Clanmutter teachings, are about naturalness, about the wisdom and the incredible information in nature, in naturalness. But it has to start with me. It has to start with the individual. So drum is the medicine tool for connecting you to your rhythms. But it's very different drum to commercial entertainment drumming, because in that drumming it fills all the space with sound. In this drumming it leaves a lot of space for other things to happen. Look at all the space here for other things to happen. Leaving space. Leaving space for squirrel or for swan to enter our consciousness. So we have to be receptive. Look, when you're looking through your eyes, you are absorbing information. You are taking information in from the world around you, and it's being recorded inside you. Right? Happening in squirrel as well. Yeah? And this is this thing, this is the relationship. It's knowing that squirrel is the same as me, and I am the same as squirrel. There is no difference between us. He's just furry, and I need clothes to stay warm. And I haven't got a tail. But it's my opportunity to step into the world of squirrel, or step into the world of the larch tree, or step into the world of the breath. It's my opportunity.
Es ist so schön, wie du sagst, Talks with Relations fordert uns auf, mit ihr rauszugehen in die Welt und alles zu erleben und alles zu fühlen. Was für ein schöner Schlusssatz.
Yeah.
Steven, Dankeschön.
Oh, my pleasure.
Dankeschön für deine tiefen Einsichten und deinen tiefen Kontakt zu allem.
My pleasure.
Dankeschön.
You're a sister.